Bishop Larry Goodpaster was born in the late 1940s in Memphis, Tennessee. He grew up in Mississippi and in 1970 earned his Bachelor of Arts degree from Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi. He married Deborah Cox in September of 1971. They went on to start a family and gave birth to 2 daughters, Amy and Lucy. He was ordained a deacon while attending Candler School of Theology in Atlanta, Georgia, where he earned his Master of Divinity and Doctor of Ministry degree. Bishop Goodpaster was assigned to serve as the resident bishop of the Western North Carolina Conference in July of 2008 and then reassigned in 2012. We're so very thankful for the service Bishop Goodpaster has provided us for the past 8 years. He made tough decisions. He led with the mission in mind, and he sowed seeds of disciples for the future of our conference.
He arrived in 2008, right in the middle of the financial crisis. We were dealing with an excess of ministers, and so through Bishop Goodpaster's guidance, we were able to place all of those ministers.
We were looking at the 15 districts and trying to be more missional. He led us to 8 districts, bigger territories. A lot of people didn't think this would work. We established missional networks. We began to live into this bold, daring vision that he had for the conference.
He has that book called There's Power in the Connection. He definitely expressed the importance of us clergy working together.
Teamwork, collaboration, and understanding that we could do more together than we could apart.
I've seen the bishop be very focused on our mission, make disciples for the transformation of the world, and he leads us in that direction consistently.
But also he modeled for us ways that you align the resources with the mission.
With the formation of missional networks, we have witnessed a growth in moving out from the church, moving outside the doors, and being in the world, being in mission.
I remember when Bishop Goodpaster preached his sermon, Going Missional, at annual conference, and that opened up the way into his heart as a person willing to take risk. He was daring, he was bold, he was imaginative.
The bishop has encouraged and empowered local churches to do creative ministry, and the ways in which the conference has supported and empowered that ministry to reach out to those on the margins of society has just been a wonderful blessing in our community.
He helped us in an encouraging way establish the Haywood Street congregation with Brian Combs, and he wanted to see us be bold. And New Story, Narrow Gate, we just have many missional stories of our conference thanks to his leadership.
Helping to alleviate poverty, hunger, work with children in schools, many types of ministry that maybe one little church could not do by themselves, but when they put it together with all the other churches in their missional network, great things have happened.
One of the most memorable sermons I remember him preaching was on 2 letters, go. It was at the end of an annual conference, and he was just telling us simply to go on, get out of here, go to it.
The fact that he invested in the lives of pastors, especially young pastors, that's a very strong part of his legacy.
The Holy Land experience was a grateful gift that the bishop was able to provide for a group of young clergy that was meeting with him.
It was transformational in my ministry. To be in the places where Jesus walked and to hear the bishop teach was just amazing and wonderful, and really transformed the way in which I read and see Scripture and the way in which I am able to preach and teach in the local church.
He wanted to invest in these young clergy to know that they would cause a ripple effect in their communities that they serve. That will be a legacy maybe beyond his life with these young clergy, because I look for these young clergy to invest in other young clergy as they come along as well.
There are not many pastors who can say they have been to the Holy Lands with their bishop. Through his ministry, he has shown a lot of us pastors how to be better leaders, better preachers, better pastors.
He's firm. But when we would get in a difficult situation, he had such a kindness and a love that you felt like you could respond, you could work with him because you knew he cared about you.
When he begins to speak, everybody seems to begin to listen. And he wants to share the depth of Christ's sacrifice with everyone.
I'm very thankful for the bishop and how down to earth he was. You could just have a normal conversation with him like he was just another another clergy person.
And I know his attention is demanded a lot of other places, but he just does make time to be fully present with us there.
With our appointment making, he would begin with morning prayer, conclude with evening prayer. We would stop in the middle of the day and go into silence. And he was focused from the top to the bottom, from the smallest church to the largest church. And I just loved the way he was trying to match the gifts of the pastors with the needs of the churches and the communities.
He's an encourager. He wants us to be the best that we can be.
He affirmed my gifts and my graces, helped me to understand and valued the fact that I was an introvert, and allowed me to know that there was a ministry that I could offer to the world and to the conference.
He's very approachable, and so when I've had an issue in ministry or if I've had something that has come up, then I felt like I could approach him and ask him his opinion and his guidance.
Through his writings, when he did his epistles, I would get the newsletters from the other churches in the district. Most of the time they would have those in there. They liked to see what the bishop had to say, that he just wasn't somebody in an office in Charlotte that never came out and visited among the people. He truly cared.
I admire the way the bishop has led by example and showing us as clergy how to live a disciplined life by changing his eating habits and his exercise and really looking at the things that we need to look at in terms of self-care.
He modeled for me health-wise about caring for myself, making sure that I was doing what my doctors were saying and that I was keeping my appointments, that I was following my diet, that I was even exercising. We had somewhat of a competition between Bishop Goodpastor and myself as we lost weight, and so he passed me in the end.
I believe that Bishop Goodpastor's legacy will be the ways in which he has empowered us to do wonderful ministry in the middle of anxiety in our culture, in the ways in which he has equipped us to be a calming presence and a faithful presence in our world.
And now, Bishop Goodpastor, I'm not going to say happy retirement, because retirement's not in the Bible. We know that bishops and ministers don't retire. They just go out to pastor somewhere else.
We thank you, Bishop Goodpastor, for what you've shared with us, and bless you with continued influence for Christ in the church.